Hello everyone, hi, I'm Sushmita, welcome. If you are new here, I talk about books and things related to books. So you are welcome here and subscribe if you want to watch more of my content. So let's begin. Today I'm here with my August wrap up. So these are the books that I read in the month of August. I'll be very honest with you, August hasn't been kind in terms of both its emotional toll on me as well as the books that I have got my hands on, because they have been lukewarm. I'll be honest with you. The number of books that I have read, I am quite happy with it, but the content in them, not so much. Until recently that I read this book, which I'll talk about, that I was quite disappointed with my reads. But anyway, I'm here with my wrap up, so you might be interested in the books that I have read. So if you are, then stay tuned. Also, I wanted to talk about this whole idea of reading as many books as we can, because now we have started comparing ourselves to those professional Instagrammers and booktubers who read as many as one book a day, and sometimes even more so, and we have started comparing ourselves to them and started feeling inadequate, which is, please don't do that, guys. I mean, it's their job, it's their profession. But for those who have things other than that, we have our schools, colleges, universities, or work to do, it's not possible for us to read one book a day or even more books as such, unless you have off days. So yeah, give yourself a break and read whenever you like, however you like, whatever you like. On that note, let's begin. The very first book that I am going to talk about is 1,000 Ships by Natalie Haynes. This is a mythological retelling of the Trojan War, but from the perspective of the women that were affected by that war, be it on the side of the Greeks or the Trojans. So we get to see that story unfurl, the Trojan War unfurl, and its impact, its effect, and its causation in terms of the female characters. So which I absolutely loved. I was quite intrigued with this whole idea because I am anyway so much interested in mythological retellings when it's from the perspective of a woman, which has been mostly missing until very recently. Now we have so many different versions from different female characters. Anyway, my knowledge of Greek mythology is so scant, but reading this, I think, introduced me to so many characters and so many different point of views. But what I have a complaint from this book is that since there are so many characters that are being introduced, most of them are just presented as an introduction, and there is no deeper characterization of those characters. Does that make sense? So everything felt like being on a surface level, except of course certain characters. But anyway, I loved this book, even though I think it was a 3.5 star read for me. Now the next book that I'm going to talk about is When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill. I was so excited to read this book just by reading the title, and I was sort of assuming that the book was about women expressing their anger. So I assumed that the book was about female rage, and I was correct to an instant. So this book is basically, it sort of delves into magical realism. So it is about a time when women, they started turning into dragons. So we are talking about a society, we are talking about a time when women are not expected to express themselves. Women are not expected to express their genuine feelings and their thoughts, and women are expected to be silent and demure. So at that time, women started turning into dragons, and the society, the government, the people saw it as a scandalous thing. Okay, it was assumed to be something very feminine and forbidden, just like the talks about periods and sex. So the government tried to silence it. They censored the texts, and those people who started research in those topics, they were disfunded by the government, they were arrested, and they were barred. So in a society that tries to make women quiet and small, how these women, they turn into dragons and they reveal their true self unapologetically, unashamedly. That's basically this whole story, and it was a good read. I mean, as a plot, as an idea, it had so much potential, but again it lacked something, I think, in as a whole. So it was not that satisfying a read, but it was a good read again. So yeah, another 3.5 star read for me. The next book that I read was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. If you have watched a previous video of mine where I talk about how to differentiate between a real copy of a book and a pirated one, I might have shown you this copy of the book, which is actually a pirated copy, and the pages have come out and the ink smudges. But the story, the content of the book, oh my god, such a heartbreaking and beautiful read, and with a character, with a female character so brilliantly grey, So Evelyn Hugo, this book talks about the life of Evelyn Hugo, basically, who is a woman that comes from poverty and rises in Hollywood. She is notorious for being very reclusive, and also she's known for being married 7 times. The obstacles that she faced for being a woman, for coming from a place of poverty, and how she made use of every opportunity that landed her way, or how she sometimes created her own opportunities throughout the way. So it's about this celebrity culture, this Hollywood world, and how cutthroat the business is. And I was so amazed by how Evelyn Hugo was written, because she's the main character here, right? But she is such a morally grey character. You do not end up liking her, or you also don't hate her, but you sort of understand her. You are like, I know why you made the choices that you actually made, but I don't agree with your choices, and I don't know if I would make those same choices if I were you. So kudos to that brilliant characterization. And I mean, one book that actually made me remember the joy of reading, that I was missing in my August reads, and it was very easily a 4-star read for me. Next book that I read is, so it's an ebook, The Winners by Frederick Buckman. Now the winners follow everything that has happened after Beertown and Us Against You, and I'm not going to talk much about the story of this book because I am preparing a video where I rank all the Buckman books that I have read, so I'll talk in details about the book in that video. But I would tell you only this, that the way Buckman writes his characters, that you feel like you know them, and you end up having so much space in your heart for them that after you are done with the book, you miss the characters. And I think that's the sign of a great book. And while reading the book, I wept. I was weeping when I read the book, and it is still fresh in my mind how beautifully the book is written, and it was such a sad but sort of a brilliant conclusion to the story of Beertown. So yeah, it's a 5-star read, guys. My only 5-star read in this month. So the next book that I read was The War of Lanka by Amish Tripathi, which is the 4th book in the Ramchandra series, which is a retelling or a reimagination of the Ramayana. And oh my god, what a slaughter this book was. because till now the author has so brilliantly reimagined these characters, these storyline of the Ramayana, and the author was building Ravana with so much depth. I mean, sure, he has taken so much of creative liberty in creating the characters, but in the fourth book everything just went to hell. Like, it felt like Amish, because the fourth book was published after a long time, so it felt like the author forgot what he had written with the first 3 books and just decided, no, I need to finish it, and just dumped things. Because in the fourth book, in the War of Lanka, there is no conflict. The war was so convenient. Everything was so convenient. I mean, if you are writing the book with the title The War of Lanka, I mean, show the war in all its grandeur, in all its goriness. Show the war, its devastation. But no, it just ended so simply and so pathetically. I mean, I wish I hadn't read the book, because my idea is sort of ruined. I had so much high expectation from this book, but oh, it was such a disappointed. I mean, like, it's very easily a 2-star read, of course, this one. So the last book that I read during this month was And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer. It's by Frederick Buckman, and again, it's a novella. So it's a very beautiful, heartwarming story of a grandfather and his grandkid. The grandfather has dementia, and he is slowly forgetting everything about his life, and it's a very sweet and heartwarming and a little bit of sad read. Again, I'll talk in detail about the book in a video that is coming, so maybe stay tuned, subscribe, and I'm saying it once again. And it was a 4-star read very easily. I mean, Frederick Buckman just never disappoints, really. It has been a mediocre reading month, saved graciously by 3 books. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, The Winners by Frederick Buckman, and Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by again Frederick Buckman. And these were the saving grace in a month that was filled with mediocre reads. So yeah, and I'm wearing a sari, guys, which I don't normally do. But I was feeling so low today that I had to sort of feel good about myself. So I decided to dress up, and I wanted to feel pretty, which I actually do. So there you go. Stay tuned, and once again, like this video, share among your friends, and subscribe to my channel, guys. Bye.